Hello angels, and welcome back to my channel. I am Francisco Angel, and today I just wanted to do a video in honor of spooky season. So I'm a huge horror movie buff, so I thought it would be a good idea to just give you guys some of my suggestions. So here's my top 5 suggestions of horror movies you should watch this Halloween. First, I wanted to start off with an honorable mention. So about 2 weeks ago, I watched this recent film called Little Monsters starring Lupita Nyong'o. It follows this kindergarten teacher as her and her class go on a field trip to a petting zoo. In a twist of events, there is a zombie outbreak that happens in a military facility right next to them. So this movie is very comedic. It's very horror comedy. It's along the lines of Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland, which if you like those two films, you'll probably like this one. And it has moments where it's very heartfelt and very meaningful. And I don't know. It was a good movie. I recommend it. Lupita Nyong'o is always great. So if that's something, especially if you're one of those people who can't handle high-notch horror, this is a great movie. I recommend that one. So starting off the list at number 5, Hunt. So Hunt was released this year, and it's about this group of college kids who want to do something spooky on Halloween. So they find this haunted house attraction on like a Craigslist, and they decide to like crash it, see what happens. You know, they sign the waiver, they hand their phones, everything seems normal for a haunted house, and they go in there and they realize that the people running this are kind of like fucked up. So this haunted house actually turns into a house of horrors for them. Literally, it's not a masterpiece by any means, but the suspense is done very well, is executed very well. It is by the same writers of A Quiet Place, so if you like that and you thought that was suspenseful, you might like this film. As a horror fan, I thought it was like, you know, it delivered, and in some of the kills, it doesn't hold back. So that's my number 5, Hunt. At number 4 comes Cabin in the Woods. So if you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods, it's a great movie. It's a great movie. It was made by Joss Whedon. As the name implies, it's about college students who are like driving and they want a vacation, so they go to a cabin in the woods. Oh my god, shocker. And weird shit starts to happen, you know, weird creepy shit, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. It's nice. It's a good film. I recommend it. Coming at number 3 is a movie I watched 2 months ago. It's called Train to Busan. It is a Korean film, I believe. This movie is a zombie movie. It revolves around a father and her daughter going to take a train to Busan to visit the daughter's mother when there is a zombie outbreak that happens. And most of the film takes place on this train. One of the infected people ends up getting in the train before it leaves. So it's really well made. There are subtitles to this film. This film is not in English, and there are subtitles, but it is worth it. They use the space very well, and a lot of these characters are really smart. You know how you complain when people make dumb decisions in horror movies? These characters are really smart. They did something I thought you should do during a zombie apocalypse, which I really appreciate. And there are moments that are very like touching and emotional, and like I cried in this film. That's my number 3, Train to Busan. I totally recommend. That's all I have to say on it. At number 2, one of my favorite horror movies of all time, Rec. REC as in record. This is a Spanish film, and it's also subtitles. There is an English dub to this, but I recommend the subtitles because it is more authentic and it sounds better. Rec, when it came out, it was very popular in Spain. It was a massive hit, and it caught the attention over here in America, and we made an American remake to it called Quarantine, which was bad. Do not watch Quarantine, watch Rec. That's the one you need to watch. Rec is about a news reporter who does reviews of people's jobs during the nighttime. So on this particular night, she is interviewing and following firefighters and what they do and everything they do during their shift, the night shift. And they get a call in at an apartment about a lady who is screaming and locked in her apartment. So they get there, and then shit goes down, and when they try to leave, they find out that the government has locked them in the apartment. This is a found footage film, and this is one of the best found footage films because I know sometimes they can be they're made because they're very cheap, and this one I feel had a very good excuse to why they kept filming. Because it's a found footage film, it has this thing where, like, in horror movies, you like, when something is about to happen or scared because the movie starts rising and like it prepares you. This one, it doesn't. Like, it feels very realistic because everything just boom, that happened, boom, this happened, boom, this happened. And the last 30 minutes are like shit, just all hell breaks loose. This is one I recommend if you really want to get spooked this Halloween. But yeah, REC comes at number 2. At number 1 comes The Descent. Again, one of my favorite horror movies ever. I'm going to say very little about this film because I want people to go in and experience it. The Descent is about 5 women who decide to go spelunking. This group of like 5 friends who just want to like, be a little extreme, and they decide to go in a cave system. Little do they know, the friend who organized this told them that they were going to a cave system that has been explored and had like, routes and exits. And once they're in there, the cave entrance collapse, and she kind of reveals that this is a cave that has not been explored before. So she doesn't know if there is another way out. This movie is it's a story of survival. I'll put it that way. It makes you feel claustrophobic. Very claustrophobic at times. I recommend, for the best effect, watch this in the dark, because the way it's shot, the cave system, everything's dark. There is some drama that happens and that you need to pay attention for you to understand the drama, but it's gory. This film is gory. It's a very good horror movie. It's a well-made horror movie. And it's why it's my favorite. There are images in here that are very haunting and like very iconic to me in horror. I recommend that you do not look up the trailer for this. You do not look up anything else for this. Just go in and watch it. That will be the best experience for you, to just jump in and just start watching this movie and see what happens. So I'm curious to know, what is your favorite horror movie? What horror movies would you recommend? What are you going to be for Halloween? Comment down below. I want to know what your costume is. I think I figured out my costume, but I don't know yet. I usually dress up for different costumes every year. So, people say to stick to one thing. My main thing here on this channel is going to be short films and whatnot. But, like, I'm going to have the mentality that if I want to do it, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go for it. So, what type of content are you interested in, like, seeing me do? And you know what? I'll give it a try because I like exploring. I like trying new things. But, yeah, this is the end of the video. I never know how to end these things, but thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to. That would make me very happy. Yeah, I'll stop talking now. But yeah, I'm Francisco Angel, and till next time.